Hello everybody and welcome again to another episode of Comic Collecting 101. I am Brannon, as usual, and today is another one of my short videos. Hopefully I'm able to keep it shorter than we usually do, and it should be because we're just going to talk about some tools of the trade, some things that comic book collectors have available to themselves to assist with their collecting endeavors. So start you off simple here. We have long boxes, but because of space considerations, I'm just going to show you a short box and a CGC box, which is something we'll look at later, the CGC stuff. So here we have a short box up on top. This one's been animated with a Joker, Batman kind of style deal. So it's, the Gotham bridges and skyline, and you can make out the Joker's face with the hair across the lid, and then the teeth in the bridge, the suspension portion. And then up here on the lid, ha 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 ha, in the shape of the bat. So you don't have to get these. I only have this one because my cousin bought, they were $15 each. Believe me, I don't want to spend $15 on a short box, but my cousin wanted one. And the people at the con we were at, the minimum was on a card was a $20 purchase. So I ended up with his second one because he didn't want two. And yes, I did get suckered into paying him the $15 for the second one. I'm not happy about it, but at least I have a cool box now. Lower here, so you can tell it's a little bit longer, and a little bit taller is the CGC box. So that's to fit CGC books that are a little bit bigger. I'll show you one here. There we go. It's a Batman book. You can see that it's got this plastic slab around it that makes the dimensions of the book a little bit taller and wider, so the box is sized accordingly. So what can you expect to fit in one of these deals? The CGC box, because of how thick the plastic is, conceivably, I believe it's around 30 books, maybe 35. I think I've got 30 in mine, approximately, and there's a little bit more space, so maybe somewhere in between those two numbers. Short box. It depends. We've talked before about whether or not you're going to bag and board your books or not, if you're just going to bag them or if you're going to leave them raw entirely. But a short box can handle anywhere from 100 to 125 books, bagged and boarded. If you don't have bags and boards, this is like a shot in the dark for me because I bag and board my books. But I want to say you could probably fit another 40 or 50 books in there, like 160 to 175-ish without any bags and boards. So plenty of storage in a short box if you're just starting out. Again, space concerns, we didn't want to throw a long box up on here. But a long box, double it. It's just longer than a short box, same width and height. But a long box will fit closer to 250 to 300 books. And there is a little bit of room on the sides where you can fit some more books. So if you ever go to one of those sales where they say, fill a long box for $40, shove some books down the side. Don't cheat yourself. Those are cheap books. And some other things that we've talked about in the past, have some examples here. So I mentioned turtle shells, like those hard top loaders that you used to put baseball cards in. This is one of those, so it's got a really thick exterior around the edges, and then a little bit wider opening at the top. So basically that's so you can fit a bagged and boarded book in here. These are pretty good for cons, that's what I use them for. So you can take your books in a bag and not have to worry about the awkward shape of the bag hitting your back or your side, bending your books. A lot of people will tell you, disclaimer, that these are not good for books. I've never really asked why. I don't leave them in there for a very long period of time, so I don't sweat that. This isn't a normal way to just store a book. Like this is temporary in the vast majority of cases, I would believe. This here, no, not that one. Yeah, that one. So this is a My Light, which is kind of like, you can kind of hear the crackle is a little bit different from a regular bag. You can use a regular board with it. It's just a little bit higher gauge, I guess, of plastic, or excuse me, lower gauge of plastic. And I can't describe it. Some people like them. They're more expensive, so I don't use them. I don't think they're necessary. My boxes are packed so heavily that the books keep each other up straight, so I don't really need to deal with this. Never mind the boards. So it looks just like any other bag. It's just got a little bit more weight to it. And then we have an actual Mylar bag. These things are like legit thick plastic. Same situation though. And then this is kind of the same thing, like a thicker plastic, but it's like a thicker plastic top loader. I didn't buy this. I have a few books that came in these. These are not convenient for boxes. I don't recommend using them. If you want to use them as a storage thing as well, that's fine. But they're just so you know that the options out there. If you find a situation where these appeal to you or would be useful, then they're there. No, but that's really all there is to it. Boards are thin cardboard boards or thin paper boards that provides support to the book in the bag. And we've talked about pricing before. $6 to $8 for bags and boards. I think $8 for a long box, $6 for a short box maybe. Some places will charge more. Oh, and last thing, you can get boxes. These are in cardboard, but you can get them in corrugated plastic. I think it increases the price by 2.5. Like a long box becomes $20 minimum. I think I've seen them for $30, even in some places. I don't think that's necessary. If you're worried about your boxes falling apart because you're moving around a lot, maybe. But otherwise, probably not necessary. But like I said, we're trying to keep this one short, and hopefully I've managed to do that. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below the video. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be coming out with more and more stuff. And be sure to follow us on Instagram. Sergio runs that. That is Comic Collecting 101. And be sure to follow us on on Twitter as well. I run the Twitter. That's Comic Collect 101. Take the ing off. Until next time, guys. Hope you're having a good time collecting comics. And we want to talk to you more and hear from you. So check us out when we answer your questions later on the next episode of Comic Collecting 101.